Are we on? Uh, Hey, how's it going? What's the crack? Welcome to another episode of The Rundown with me, Dan the Mexican, for Aztec Emerald. It's a fucking beautiful day, so I'm not sitting down in front of my computer. It's too nice, it's too delicious, and my leg's still kind of messed up. I had to sit right at the computer and be hunched in right. I need to keep my legs stretched out. It's all my mate's having a stag this weekend, and he's an adventurer and shit. So I gotta have my foot like as peak as it can be, or at least not destroyed, so I can do some of the shit. There's a lot of water stuff, so I'm just gonna like float around like some fucking baby, just some fat baby, just like floating. I'm not fat, but I'll be wearing a really thick wetsuit. Anyway, which are buoyant as fuck, but nevertheless, I'm gonna go outside and we're gonna talk UFC. Let me get my card because I had to write down a piece of paper, the order of the fight card. Because otherwise, oh wait, shit, where's my lighter? Oh no. Oh no. Oh wait, no, I got it. It's good. It's good. Jesus Christ! Jesus! The fuck was that? Fucking Ethernet cable. God damn it, nearly killed myself. Why isn't everything wireless? Jesus Christ. Okay. Wait, am I still... Is it still going live? Jesus, I can't fucking see anything on my screen. Yeah, it's still live. It's still going. Okay, you can still see me. I'm still here. Alright, cool. Right. So last week's fucking UFC was pretty legit. There was a few fights that were going to go make a cup of tea kind of fights, which is fine. I actually like that sometimes, and especially with the oversaturation that it can kind of get to. Sometimes I can't fucking be sure about every single goddamn fight. You know what I mean? Although there were some nice little wins. Jesus, that Marlon Moraes. My God, look, I knew that guy was good. I knew that a lot of times we see these prospects come up and we're like, oh, I don't know, can they not make it? But sometimes we see them and we're like, yeah, I wouldn't bet against them for a while. Like, for a while. I had a feeling he might have been one of those people, but I didn't really know. I'd seen a lot of performances, but still nothing that had, like, things that were great. But to be able to go in there with a guy of the caliber and not just be like, yeah, I'm better than you. No. I'm so much better than you. And Jimmy Rivera is no slouch. To go in there and just within the first 30 seconds, switch kick, knock him out. That's no easy fucking task, man. That is no easy task. God bless that man. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Excellent addition to his highlight reel. Like, just top marks all across the board. But that was then. That was then. This is now. Oh, man. Is this the best fight card? Definitely of the year, but oh, stacked from top to bottom, man, in a long time. This is a serious, legit fight card with one massive exception, which we'll get to. But we'll start off. One of the things I liked about it as well is, as much as I love, obviously everyone wants a card where every single fight, they know every fighter really well. At the same time, I do like, as I said, the sandwich making, tea making fights. Those fights with those kind of contenders where they're not that good, they're not at that echelon yet. But if you toss one or two of those matchups on a card that is just lit from top to bottom, the overall, I think, ether, whatever it is, in the presence of the fighters of the kind of lower caliber is, dude, we gotta put on a serious show. I mean, I gotta just pull out all the stops. And a lot of times these fighters that you don't really know, or like, oh, I've seen them fight once or twice, when they get a shot like this, they really try and put it on. So I'm super looking forward to that, because there's one or two kind of matchups here that I'm like, yeah, no idea who these guys are. And which sometimes is really good, because it's not like, oh, let's just do our fight, have our thing, and we're on like the the fight card last week. You know, the Marlon Rice, this is a Fox card and all kind of stuff, and we'll just try and make your way up the ranks and get your win, get that win in there. Whereas this, I don't know, it's a bit more pageantry to it. But where we are, okay, so we'll start off at the beginning. I don't know who Dan Ige is. I might have seen him before. I know I've seen Mike Santiago. He's got like 21-11, so he's got too many fights for me not to have seen him before. I haven't really done much background into them, and my brain's kind of... I don't keep a constant streaming connection like I have a server, and then when I'm watching fights or I'm watching something about this person, then the server will open up, switch on, and all the memories of that fighter will come in while I'm watching the fight or I'm watching the video about him or whatever when he's talking. But just a picture, just something else, it kind of stays closed off, and I might as well, to my own recollection, be like, I've never seen that guy fight before. But it's a very good chance I would have. Dan Ige, and I've heard Mike Santiago's name, so I'm going to be super biased and vague and pick Mike Santiago because I know his name. He's got a lot more fights. And they both kind of look around the same age as well. So, next is Clay Guida versus Charles Oliveira. Right, so in the old, back in a bit, before I saw Guida's last one or two fights, and Oliveira's last one or two fights, I would have said, oh, Oliveira all the way. I'm not too sure about that anymore, man. Guida, in his last fight or two, has been one of those fighters where you're like, Guida, what a champ. Maybe it's time he should let it go, give it up, you know? Nope. He showed a huge improvement in his striking, his patience, and his wherewithal within the cage, his range, his distance, timing, and everything. It's either Jason Perillo or Trevor Whitman. I know he started to train with one of them, I think. And, dude, talk about, like, the two silent assassin underdog in the corners that no one's really speaking of, coaches that have come out of the woodwork and just been bringing stars to the fucking place. Trevor Whitman and Jason Perillo. They're like, when I first started, Farasa Hobby was the, ooh, Farasa Hobby. And Jackson Wink, you know, ooh, Jackson Wink. There were these mysterious kind of people in the background that you knew of, and you knew the people that they were able to create. And the level of difference between the people, those fighters and the other fighters they were against. And you can see how those coaches were improving these fighters' styles. But then it kind of stopped being this magical sauce of like, ooh, it's a TriStar Farasa Hobby fighter, or ooh, it's a Jackson Wink fighter. Doesn't mean they're definitely going to win anymore. Something about it, it was the star, was the fighters, I'm not sure. But the fact of the matter is the two new names now that have come in the more recent times as the others have kind of gone into the bit more of the back. Not that they've gotten less or anything, but just a bit more into the back of the main press and zeitgeist. Trevor Whitman and Jason Perillo, man. Jason Perillo gave Michael the striking to give him that belt and to basically outstrike Anderson Silva. And Trevor Whitman is what helps Rose be so composed and so goddamn fine-tuned. And like, there's a few other people that these guys have taken under their wing that they're just fucking destroying people with a new sense of understanding timing and distance and patience. It's fantastic. But Charles Oliveira hasn't been doing well, man. I don't think he can evolve much further than where he's been. I think if he really wanted to leave where he is, go to a proper serious camp with legit killers and just get into the dog fights and the shark tanks of it and start really testing against the parts of his fight ability where he's not as high level as others, he'd have been fine. I think he'd be fine, but I don't know if that ship is starting to get a bit too away in the distance for him to catch up with. I'm not sure, but the way the tides are moving now, I'm happy. I'm happy to say Clay Guida. I'm going to say decision. I don't think Clay has that anger, young tenacity anymore to really put it on. If he feels like the person's dropped, but I'm not sure. But Charles Oliveira is also quite scrambly, and to be patient and stuff would be not to jump into someone when you drop them when their jiu-jitsu is that good. Um, Not that Guida's jiu-jitsu isn't good either, but I would put Oliveira's jiu-jitsu far above Guida's. Um, but yeah, I can see Guida winning this by decision, so I'm taking Guida. Um, let's see, Benavidez versus Pettis. Oh, this is a sorry. I can't do this anymore. I need a drink. I was like, how long can I go without a drink without interrupting the video? But I can't do this. It might taste like shit. Ah, that was delicious. Where are we? Oh yeah. Okay. So the better Pettis. Not that like. Hold on 1 second. I think his brother, younger Pettis, reached a level of ability, and I think Sergio is very different styled, but more fine tuned. Maybe less ego. Maybe at the time when he was that age, Pettis had a bit more of an ego. I know Pettis doesn't have it now, but he put that down onto his. He kind of passed it down to his younger brother at a younger age, so he's more humble, more willing to learn and grow. Um, he's got more tricks up his sleeve. I think he's a lot. We're gonna see, and you're gonna see, and I think you've already sort of seen that Sergio Pettis. He won't have that same Achilles heel that Anthony did when it comes to getting smashed on his back, just getting put on his back and held down there. I don't think he's going to be as vulnerable over on his career for things like that the way Anthony was. But man, put him up against any of the other top fives, top tens. I would heavily, I would have Sergio, and I wouldn't feel iffy about it at all. But Joseph Benavidez is the best dude at flyweight whose name is not Demetrius Johnson. That is the end of it. That is just the way it is. There is a certain level of class and skill and echelon in this game that you can get so far, but if you're not at that extra little level, you try as hard as you must. It's just you're not going to break that ceiling. It's going to be like that for Joey B with Demetrius. He's not going to break that ceiling, and not for a while. Old age has to end him. Like, we're going to have to see a new Demetrius starting, and then see that guy work his whole way up, and then Demetrius has to be really old to 100% lose to that guy. But even still, I don't know, man. He could have a greater legacy than GSP. Iffy though, because younger people tend to burn out quicker than older people. But it's it's weird, like, because you're not carrying as much weight on you, a lot of your muscles and your joints and shit don't wreck as much or get as easily injured when you get older. But your overall lifespan and energy output, you smaller people burn, vibrate at a higher fucking velocity than larger people. That's why the heavyweight fighters, they can be fighting in their fucking late 60s and they're still sulling on leather. But yeah, that's the fact of the matter is, Joey B is going to beat him. He's going to beat him. I'd be very, 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 very surprised this will be a home Rousey kind of Dillashaw Barrow shit. If I know Benavidez isn't the champion, but if Sergio can do that, can beat him, holy fuck. But I don't think that's going to be the case at all. I think Benavidez wins. I think they give him a lifetime supply of vitamin C, because he needs it. I have never seen a fighter whose lips look so chapped all of the time, and you can even see that the people like on the Ultimate Fighter when he was in the coaches, they put Vaseline on his lips. The makeup people on those shows, like, they put that stuff on you, and still the man has the driest, most chapped, vitamin C seeking lips I have ever fucking seen in my life. I don't understand. I don't like him and Gaethje. Okay, so Gaethje has a bit of the cleft lip, so you can kind of see where it is, but you can kind of see it. He sometimes has it, but man, that dude, I don't know what it is about Joey B, man. His skin and everything, he just looks like that guy is 1 day away from full blown scurvy. Still doesn't change the fact that he is best flyweight not named DJ. Then he's married to Megan Levy, who is gorgeous, little firecracker, and really good at her job. Like really good at her job. And when this ESPN thing happens, please understand ESPN. Like Karen Bryant, Megan O'Leary, Kenny Florian, John Anik, man, like you can't do better than those people right now. You need those people to still be those people so that the future generations can then take their place when they get older. And you can have your ESPN dude from the very beginning, hardcore grown ESPN person taking over their job in the future. Not now. You absolutely need them. Nobody knows as much about the game as them. No one knows as much about the pageantry, the TV side of it, as well as the in-ground, in-gritty, backstage, talking to the fighters, talking to their families kind of stuff as these people do. It's as big of a sport as it is, it's also quite small in a sense of the circles of people when they know each other and stuff in a way that, and I don't mean small as in no one gets to know each other. I mean small as in everyone kind of a lot of people tend to know each other, especially when they're talking about a lot of the media and a lot of the TV personalities like Karen Bryant, like Megan O'Leary, like Kenny Florian, like John Anik. Nowhere near. But you need these people like smart move with Ariel Helwani. Like that is the smartest move you could have made. The fact that Fox didn't do something like that was like I didn't notice at the time, but now that I noticed that ESPN did it, it's like, oh, why didn't Fox do something like that? Ariel's huge. Like him or hate him, he is huge. He is one of the most well-known names across the board in MMA media and MMA, not just journalism, but MMA in general. He is just one of the most well-known names across the board, well-known faces. Um, Sampling him up as a genius idea. Please bring these girls over. Please bring John Anik over. Please do the right thing and be intelligent about it, because these people are the best in the business at what they do. Oh yeah, this one. This is a real upsetting fight. This is one of those fights where you don't know what to say without sounding like an asshole or without being mean or without saying something that's going to upset someone. But what the fuck are you doing, Rashad? Get out of there. What are you doing? What are you doing, his friends? What are you doing, his teammates? What are you doing, his family? What are you doing, Rashad, yourself? What are you doing? Leave it. Stop it. Get out of there. You can't fight anymore. You're a failed shadow of your former self, who was a god. You were a god on Olympus. You are not anymore, and it's really really sad to watch the demise. I've seen it enough. I don't need to see it again. Um, Smith isn't even that good, and I in no way conflicted or feel like I'm taking a gamble by saying Evans gets knocked out in the first round. I don't even know if Smith is a knockout artist, but he gets stopped. Evans gets stopped, and Evans hopefully stops fighting after this because he has to stop. To hear the way Kenny Florian, when he was taking the picks, he just went, "Yeah, well, Rashad's my buddy, and I'll never pick against my buddy, so I'm taking Rashad." And that was it. That was his pick. Next question. Like that was as quick as the sentence was. That was as quick as the matchup. That was it. That was the whole his whole piece on that. And this is when they were doing picks where like they go on with the fan. The fan goes on to the podcast and they pick together, and then they add up the points over the period of every month or whatever, or certain sections of fights to see who has more points by the end of it, and then there's a forfeit and stuff. But he just kind of like was like, yeah, 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 looking to pick up a shot, obviously, because I work with them. Okay, bye. And yeah, man, it's and Kenny Florian's a guy who he's a fighter himself. He knows that. Let him fight, let him do this, like and all this kind of stuff. But he's a lot of people, Karen Bryant as well, said the same, and they're just like, this is their friend. They're like, please stop. Um, Rashad Coulter versus Chris De La Roca. I know enough of them that I've seen them both fight. They're both like not high level at all. Expect a lot of lawn chair throwing, which is basically just you grab something. You know when you grab a lawn chair, it has to be a wide arc, and you gotta throw your whole body into it because you can't just pick it up normally. You gotta the big weight and mass of it. You gotta really swing it and throw it around. Yeah, they'll just be throwing lawn chairs for the whole fight. And if when they're not throwing lawn chairs, they'll be falling asleep on each other. Just let me rest here for a second. And then I'll push away, lawn chair, and then just let me rest on you for a second. And that'll be the fight. I don't know who's going to win that. It'll probably be a knockout, whoever cares. Or maybe not, maybe it'll be a decision. I don't know. Don't really care. But hopefully, like I said, the fight's so stacked, and these guys are like, hey, this is a big shot for us. Let's fucking give it socks. And they just stand there throwing sheds at each other for like a minute until one of them falls. That'll be fun. Or if they can both take it and it's just 3 minutes of them just going into a hardware store and fucking tools at each other's faces. That'd be great. That'd be great. Okay, Lamas versus Bektik. This is weird because Lamas has kind of had a shitty run, and Bektik's good, but he's not like, oh my god, look at this guy. I think on paper Ricardo Lamas should win. He's got more experience. He's more well rounded. He's got more skill. He's had better opponents, and he's beaten better people, so he should win. It's not going to affect his confidence. So now even any fight has becomes one that matters. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stick. I'm gonna go what's on paper. Oh, it's 2-1-0, 12-1-0. I forgot the dash, and it was like 12-10. Jesus, that's a terrible record. 18-6 for Lamas. Ooh, I'm gonna go back to that. Okay, Claudia Gadelia versus Carla Esparza. Claudia Gadelia by whatever fucking way she wants to, whenever she wants to, at any point in the fight. More than likely, absolute destruction on the floor. Probably a submission. But that's how it's gonna happen. Whatever way she wants to. Whatever Claudia wants to do. That's what'll happen in the fight. If Claudia wants to rape her in the middle of the fight, that will happen. And Esparza will not be able to do a single thing about it. And the fact that they matched Esparza up to someone like Gadelia is extremely unfortunate and unfair for Esparza because she's going to get frighteningly fucked. Overeem versus Blades. This is a toss 'em up, man. I mean, Overeem is just on and off like a fucking light switch with faulty wiring. Like, that guy can have the most unbelievably lame or what the fuck kind of performances against like average people, and then can have a fight against a person that you're like, oh, I don't know about this, and he torches them. I don't know, man. It's hard. Blades' his only loss is Francis Ngannou, which is like, well, that's fine. That doesn't count. Oh, you lost to the fucking Cal Drogo like of Africa. Like, okay, that's grand. He's half fucking bison. Like, the guy stretched to crispness by that dude's hand. He pulls it all the way from the center of the earth, um, and he goes right into your face and sends you onto a different fucking dimension. At faster than the speed of light itself, like a gravitational wave, like that kind of speed. It's just ridiculous. You don't worry about getting knocked out by that. So you can't really count that. And when your opponent has got knocked out in the exact same fashion by the exact same dude who was on the exact same tear during the exact same run of his of his run, the exact same streak of his run. They kind of cancel each other out, so neither of them, their loss to Ngannou kind of counts as a up or down on each other's skill when you're comparing them. My words are a bit off today, sorry. See, Blades can do the I'm just gonna lie on you. I'm just gonna take it into the floor and I'm just gonna lie on you. But Overeem's not exactly easy to be taken down. If that was the case, he wouldn't be the badass that he is. He just got taken down all the time. But even still, his jiu-jitsu and his guard and his ability to kind of get out of there is getting a bit better. He's also very good at getting the ref and getting the situation to look like nothing's happening so that they get stood back up. I don't know if Overeem's getting a bit too long in the tooth and Blades is just a bit too young that he just kind of has to basically caress him with his gloves, and already it'll be a bit damaging to Overeem. I'm going to take Blades. It's probably a mistake. Probably a huge mistake. But I'm going to take Blades. But I wouldn't be upset or think anyone's wrong by picking Overeem at all. But I'm going to take Blades by decision. Otherwise, it's Overeem TKO in the second round. But I'll take Blades. Oh yeah, my next fight I wrote down no. I think you're aware which fight that is. How is it possible? How is it even not obviously a fucking joke when you have Guida and Oliveira, Benavides and Pettis, Lamas and Bektik, Overeem and Blades, fucking Gedalia and Esparza, man, all of these people before CM Punk. What are we doing? Guys, what are we doing here? CM Punk and Jackson are before, like, they're on the main card. The first fight on the main card? Don't worry about it, Overeem, you fucking vet. You absolute titan. Don't worry about it. Just, you be the preliminary headliner. We got the real deal on the main card. Yeah. CM Punk. Like, what the bollocks against, guess what? Fucking journalist, bro. What up? Like, come on, man. You might as well have, like, who's the De La Roca? Yeah, let's have Luke Thomas versus Chris De La Roca. You know what I mean? Like, no. What are we doing here? What are we doing? These are not. This is the UFC. Look, put them on any other organization. Put them on another organization. Put them on a lower card. Put them on an amateur. Put them on a anything like some kind of lower tier thing. But the whole point of the UFC and the reason why it's supposed to be different is it's supposed to be the best of the best of the best of the most elite. Everybody wants to get into the UFC because it's hard as fuck to get into the UFC. But once you're in the UFC, you know you are true fucking caliber. No joke, badass motherfucker. And if you can become a champion of that, the reason why it's called the Undisputed Belt is because no one can dispute that if you become a UFC champion, you just are a world-renowned laser killer. You're just a laser-focused killer. You will fuck up John Wick. You will fuck up James Bond. You will destroy Jason Bourne. That kind of level of ridiculous flavor is supposed to be added to being the UFC champion. How can you justify that when the belts go around left, right, and center and are getting tossed around like a free gift at a fucking Oprah show? And you have the main event on one of the biggest fucking cards of the year, the biggest card of the year, one of the best stacked cards in a while. And you have CM Punk and a fucking photographer. Like, what is that? What are we doing? Just what is that, man? That is bad. That is, I mean, even as a business model, that's embarrassing as your business model. I don't know how they're doing that, and hopefully, as ESPN and stuff gets involved, they'll won't allow certain things on their shows or something. I don't know. I just this has to change. Um, oh, I'm not making a pick. I don't care who wins. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. So Orlovsky versus Tuivasa. Oh God, man. I mean, I love Arlovsky, and talk about a guy who you can't count out because every time you do, he comes back. But I'm counting him out, and I'm going to say Tuivasa is too young, too much on fire right now, and he's like those man. You what made Mark Hunt unique was that he was one of the very few legit Samoan fighters in the UFC. But there's a few of them now, and the fact of the matter is, and you can go Google this, um, generally the bone density of Samoans, Maoris, and Tonga, and all the Polynesian stuff like that, um, it's thicker. It's thicker. It's a thicker, denser bones, so they really can take a shitload more damage, just by default. And when you're that young as well, you're 9-0. I mean, I know Arlovsky has like so much more skill and can lull him into patterns and everything, but I think he can take whatever he can give him. And at any point, if Tuivasa unloads, you know what I mean. And it's not like I mean, Arlovsky I would say would have a better management with his overall pace and his cardio and stuff. But he's not exactly known to be a cardio machine, so by the third round, I don't think it's going to matter either way. If there is a third round, I say Tuivasa gets it done. If not in the first round knockout, second round TKO. Home versus Anderson. This is. I wish Anderson got a different fight instead of Home. Because realistically, you don't want Anderson to lose this. They're entering someone else new into this division to fight Cyborg. You want her to fight somebody to beat her to get her in to be like, yeah, she's in. She beat this girl deadly. But if she loses, it's like, what's the point? If she can't beat Holly, there's no way she's gonna beat Cyborg. So you know what I mean. Have her fight someone who she's more than likely definitely gonna destroy. A lot of people say, "Oh, she's definitely going to destroy Holly." I don't know about that. I know Holly's had a terrible streak recently, but you know the Jermaine Durandame fight, she absolutely won that, so that doesn't count. Um, she didn't get stopped by Cyborg. Um, I'm gonna say Holly wins this, but for the division you want and matchups, you want Anderson to win this. Um, but I'll say more than likely Holly takes it. Um, yeah, I just think when it comes to the female fighters jumping into the UFC, and then when you fight someone of that caliber of a Holly or something, the gap is so much greater with the women's division than the men's division, just because this just hasn't been around as long and there's not as much fighters that and Holly Holm is so goddamn veteran tested and hardened and experienced and still got it. So yeah, I think that's going to be a problem for Anderson. You never know, could be wrong, could be very well wrong, but I'm going to take home in this by decision. And then Dos Anjos versus Covington. Oh man, people who aren't even Dos Anjos fans before are like going around and being like, "Hey, Dos Anjos, destroy Kobe, man. You that guy up. You fuck that guy up." And he's like, "Hey, man, I wasn't a fan of you before, but I just want to see you destroy Kobe, man." It's hilarious. It's hilarious watching the Twitter feeds and stuff, and how much people buy into it, and they really have a serious, honest. Now, let's talk about this for a second. Opinion about Kobe and the stuff he says and what he's doing. It's like, man, you're buying into the shtick. It's shtick, and he's winning. when you get upset. When you get upset about your feelings. Thing going on in the comment section, and then someone will pop up a picture, and it's Michael Jackson Thriller, the gift, just eating the popcorn, and it's I'm just here to read the comments. Do that. Be that guy, because you'll find it a lot more fun, a lot more entertaining, and you also won't ignore the fact that hey, he's not a shit fighter, man. He's not a shit fighter, and he's got tenacity in his fight ability as well. So like once that bridge of skill and experience is covered over. He's got serious tenacity, fire, and he's able to mix it up if he wants, which is it's something that people are ignoring about it. And I'm all for the sake of the fight game and the fun to hit on a dude. You're not doing it out of pure vitriol. You actually just love the boisterousness of it and shit. All right, that's cool, but don't let it like screw up your night when you completely ignored the ability of that fighter who you hate so much that when he actually starts hitting the fighter you want to win or connecting even, you don't shit your pants and have a really bad night and get really upset and hoit. Get so hoit in my free wings. Like except the fact that he's bad motherfucker. Like he's not a nobody. I know he kind of got pieced a bit by Damian Maya, but he still beat the shit out of Damian Maya. A lot of people beat Damian Maya, but nevertheless, um, his his want to go for the kill and stuff, but still be composed by it. When he some of those elbow finishes he's had, like he's kept his distance and pounded the shot, carefully each time. There's like a nanosecond before each shot to make sure it's going to be a clean, efficient shot. Things like that I think is cerebrally going on in his head that we might be lazy to because oh Jesus, is that still filming? Yeah. No. I don't know how much of this has been seeing me. Have I just been doing that? Have I actually been on the fucking camera this whole time? 'Cause I can't, like, my screen is completely covered by the sun and the glare. Like, I can't see anything. Huh? I'm gonna make a really stupid face into the camera right now. Oh, I can kind of see my fucking stupid nose glow, shining. And just the rim of the glasses. God, it's so dark. Um, but then again, Dos Anjos, best to describe him when he's on a run. He's a truck going down a hill with no brakes, man. Um, This is a good fight, man. I think this is a really, really good fight. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not as convinced about who's going to win like I am on some of the other fights. Um, Even the main event, I'm more sure of than I am this fight. I mean, to be honest, either winning I don't think matters for the division in a negative way. I think either or is going to be fun. I'm not sure if I agree with Covington getting a shot at the title if he beats RDA. I'm not even sure if RDA should get a shot at the title for beating Covington. Um, so that's neither here nor there, but they do kind of help you lean towards a side when you're not sure who's going to win. You kind of look at the future outcome. You're like, which would be the better thing to root for or whatever. But yeah, it's very, very 50-50. Mm, See, Dos Anjos is one of those people who's gonna get stifled and overconfident by the shit talking and everything like that. Like he's able to go, "Hey man, it's fine. Once that door closes, we gonna bring it." Gotta stop saying things like and 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 like and but or the best is but fucking uh but fucking It's ridiculous. Um, yeah, man. My brain just goes when I'm like looking at these two guys to pick a winner. Fuck. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with Bektik. By the way, back to my other one instead of Lamas. I'm gonna because I couldn't pick. I'm gonna go with Bektik. I'm just gonna say decision. But maybe submission. But I don't know if he even switch people. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go with Bektik though. Dos Anjos definitely has better hands than Covington, without a doubt. He's got better hands. Um, it's not Dos Anjos is bad wrestling, but against pedigree wrestlers, that can stifle him. That can stifle him. Covington's good at being able to use his wrestling to put the weight on them, but at the same time not put him in a situation where he's very vulnerable for a submission. RDA has so much more tactile understanding of octagon awareness and in reading fighters, his angles, his technique, which he's got much more array of weapons. Yeah, I'm gonna say Dos Anjos wins. I'm going to say it's by decision. I'm gonna pick Dos Anjos by decision. But man, how angry will people be if Colby Covington wins? And like the madness that Tyron Woodley used to be a part of Covington's training team. He's not anymore, and Covington's still there. God, people will be so people be so angry if he wins. A part of me, a part of me wants him to win, simply because people are going to be so butthurt and annoyed if he wins. And he won't be fighting Woodley next, so to see the next matchup and the hype between that person, whoever that is, that'd be great. Like him and Till, that would be great. That would be good. And then Till probably beat him, and then Till fights Woodley. I'm okay with that. Now we go on to the main event of the evening. The main event of the evening. Sanctioned by me, Bobby the Reaper Whitaker Knuckles versus your old soldier of goddamn, how does a man look like that in his 40s, Romero? It's very simple. If God wills it, Yoel will win. And that is the end. Thank you, good night. um, no, I don't see how Robert Whitaker doesn't do better this time than he did the first time. He already had an injured foot. The oblique kicks at the beginning fucked him up. He still outclassed him. And at the very like as the fight went on and on, the rounds went even more heavier and more heavier in Whitaker's favor until you're at a stage where the fight ends with Whitaker on top, just fucking dropping bows on Romero. It's pretty fucking significant, man. I love Yoel Romero. I wish they could both win the title. I would love if somebody else had the title at the moment. And Romero won it. He got to hold the gold, the story, everything, the dream come true, all that stuff. And then Whitaker comes up, fights him, takes the belt back, or takes the belt. Like I would have preferred that. If I was to write a story, even though it'd be tough to watch, in a way or not, like if I was to write it as a story, I would have Yoel beat Robert this time, so they're both 1-1 apiece, and then I'd have them fight. I'd have Yoel destroy other people who comes up against him. I'd have Rob, destroy people on his way back to the title. I'd have the two of them fight again for the rubber match for the third time, and then Romero or Whitaker would win. But that's obviously not going to happen. Yoel's powerful. He's strong. He's unbelievably disciplined. His understanding of when to go and when not to go is almost a superpower in itself. The fact that he has that fast twitch muscle is just an extra. It wouldn't be as effective and can be kind of a waste. And we see it with a lot of fighters, especially in the old days. If you don't know and don't have the patience and the wherewithal to know when to go and when not to go, that explosiveness kind of becomes irrelevant. It becomes quite a hindrance. Because you blow your wad at the wrong times and you're done. That's why Yoel's scary, because he has that ability to not fuck up like that. And he lulls you into these places of like, oh, I'm just this old 40-year-old man, and he does the face and the the eyes looking up, like with the hands stretched out, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna come in, and then he wakes up, what? And then knee to the face, and you're just like, Jesus. But and even Whitaker said he's so quick, but that didn't even register until how quick he was until I actually got in there with him. Um, but Whitaker's seen that and in on the fly was able to adjust to it while injured. The only thing that you can say against him is, oh, he's been out for a while. I don't, and Whitaker or Romero has been there recently. Don't think he's been out that long, and he's not that old in his career where that kind of has that much of an effect. Yeah, I just overall I can't see how a healthier Robert Whitaker facing an opponent he's beaten the first time, how the second time he doesn't beat him even better. Um, God bless Yoel, and I hope he puts on a hell of a fight. He will put on a hell of a fight. There's always a very high possibility that Romero gets clipped or Yoel gets sorry that Jesus can't speak that Whitaker gets clipped and Romero capitalizes and the belt changes hands, man. Yeah, it's a very light cigarette. Um, but I don't see that happening. I'll be very surprised. I'm cool if it does. I know Whitaker can get it back. Um, but I have Whitaker by TKO in the fourth round. Yep, and I'm happy with that. Yeah, I won't be here unfortunately for the fights live. I will be going down to a stag. And oh, actually, hold on. That will be the night of the stag. Huh? And one of my mates who's going with me, who's going to the stag, also loves UFC and MMA and sport in general. Actually, the fucker watches everything, like curling. He'll watch everything. I say he can name five top names of any athlete in any fucking sport. Um, three at the worst. I couldn't name one in like the majority of sports. Yeah, I'm gonna see if we can talk to that the person at the bar, or in our hotel rooms, if we can fucking if we can get the fights on. We should be able to get them. Then again, some of the hotels down the country they don't have BT Sport and shit like that, but it's a decent hotel. I don't know. This is semantical stuff, but I won't be able to do a immediate post-fight stuff or anything like that because I'm gonna be wrecked off the stag and shit. I'm obviously gonna do some kind of video next week talking about it, but this will be my last video up until then. Fourth, anything else in MMA news? Loads of stuff has happened. Oh, go listen to the Jorgen podcast with Sugar Sean O'Malley. That's cool. That's interesting. He's a young kid and he's growing and he's learning, but he knows that. And like as Joe said, he's like, dude, if I wasn't half as like aware and awake and shit like that at your age, I was an idiot. And like he mightn't have all the answers and he might still be working his way out. I think he's more working out his thoughts, who he is and what he thinks about the information and stuff. But it's a really interesting podcast. They get real high and they get real deep in like just all nonsense. Always going back and forth to MMA and shit. But it's really interesting, real fun one. Check that out. Got a new shirt from Wish.com. Thank you, discount code. That was fun. Seriously, this is a real nice shirt. Whatever way it's shaped, like I have a stupid, shitty, swollen stomach, and it kind of, sort of hides it a bit. So yeah, I don't even know if that's showing it. I'm not sure, but nevertheless, um, yeah. God, the heat. God, I wish I could just keep. To be honest, the whole time I'm making this video, I'm like, I just want to just keep drinking, consistently drinking, all of the time. Um, I haven't been so hyped and excited for a fight card in a while because there's always been just more than enough fighters that I had to pretend or at least be like, yeah, I know these people, or I had to like watch loads of video on them and stuff like that. And it's great and I love learning, but man, there is this oversaturation thing that I didn't notice until I really tried to start to cover it. And even then when I was sick and as I've been unwell and stuff and trying to do shit and pay attention, like, man, there's just so much happening all at once. And then, the odd time, whenever I get the chance and I listen to like Luke Thomas and shit like that, even they are missing the beats sometimes, or even they're like, I don't even know what fight card that was, and stuff like that. And it's a lot, man. It gets a lot. But this fight card has just been every time I've heard about fights, I'm like, yes, yes, no way, no way, no way. Who? Yes. And then I was like, I haven't seen fight in a while. Clay Guida. Turns out, and then Clay Guida's fighting. Like, oh shit. Had a thing with my mate about Claudia Gadelia, how that she now that Joanna's not in the title anymore, she's got a much better chance at getting that title. I think her and Rose is a very interesting match. Um, Not that Rose can't beat her, not that she can't, or anything like that, but I just think it's a very interesting match. It's very different. Um, I'm really interested to see that. So I wonder when we get to see Claudia again. Claudia's fighting again. Um, Blades, like I've been wanting to see that guy move up bit by bit. He's fighting over him. I mean, like there's so many bit by bit cards, and I mean I guess to a certain extent because they were never gonna put it on a Fox, they were never gonna put it on a Fight Pass. If you're going to have that CM Punk fight, have it with a crap load of other fights on it that are super enjoyable, that you enjoy the shit out of the night, and you don't have to care about that fight, as opposed to making it a big headline fight in a fight card where you know absolutely no one. So you're like, cool. Well, then I'm just not watching UFC this weekend. This way you kind of get best of both worlds. So if it has to be done, then I suppose doing it that way, uh, like it's like when you're a kid, if you ever had to take tablets or a pill or something like that, and you have to be crushed up because you're too small to swallow big pills or whatever, so they crush it up, and your mom just puts it in sugar basically, and is like, here you go, here's the crushed up pill, here's a spoon of sugar. Literally, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Jesus, didn't even get that. Yeah, but yeah, just there you go. Just take all of this sugar so you don't notice the stuff that we're going to give you, whether you like it or not. If you're going to do it that way, then I suppose that's the best way to do it. Uh, God, that countdown was fun. Go watch the countdown. The embeddeds are brilliant. Um, just, I don't. It's not the trash talking. Okay, it's not the WWE shit, but it's people's reaction to it and taking it so overly seriously. And with McGregor and with certain fighters, I can understand to an extent because, like, hey man, they're so good at it that they sound legit serious. But Colby Covington sounds like a cue card. He sounds like you know, I'll have to, the cards you buy for your friends to insult them, on their birthday. Like, kind of generic Hallmark statements. Um, that I wouldn't think would get so much vitriol. It invokes so much ferocity and um, what's the word? Lynching. The wanting to lynch him that the fans and the casual fans and even some of the more dedicated fans, the hardcore fans, have towards him. Like it's madness. It's absolutely insane. I don't. I'm like, dude, it's not even good. It's like, yeah, he's ripping the piss out of this and he's insulting. He's got no respect, but he's not even doing it well, man. It's like what? It's like the opposite of a comic who, if you're a comic and you can deliver a really insultingly bad thing really well, you can't help but find it funny. But if you can't deliver it well, you just end up being a belligerent, like racist, prejudiced fucker. Um, when it comes to fighting, if you talk up a fight and you sound legitimately serious and you are sound like you're a fucking dirtbag, you're not fucking around, you're a dickhead, you're all this stuff, people take you seriously and they're like, oh shit, man, I don't know about this guy, man. He's careful with that guy. I wouldn't say it to his face, kind of thing. But when they're overly pantomiming about it, when they're like, obviously, like, I didn't write this, or I hired someone to write it, or I spent way too long trying to write it and I'm not that good of a writer, kind of comments. And that's what get people to go, oh no, fuck you, man. That's wrong. I was cool with everything else, but that's wrong. I just find that fucking brilliant. I was just like, you have to just take a sit back and relax and just watch it. Like I said, with the eating the popcorn gif, and like I'm just love watching this, and I can almost hear the response of people when you watch some of the stuff that Kobe says. It's brilliant. Um, I wasn't a fan of him, and I didn't care, and he didn't make me care. Fans' response to him and his terribly bad shtick, his weak child son and baby walking out like Bambi trying to learn how to do it type of level shtick. The reaction to that is what made me interested in him. But I think he's gonna have a fucking serious fucking handful with RDA. Can't wait for that shit. God, I can't wait for these fights. Oh, I can talk about this for ages. I'm gonna see maybe if I can do something like this for the main event or something with Lamb. See if I can get him drunk enough that he doesn't care about being on camera. Because he knows a shitload about fighting. We banter off each other really well with when we're talking about fighting. We're also kind of mean, but we try to be funny because we're just blunt and very Irish about it. But yeah, so that's me. That's the end of it. Thank you for tuning in to the live podcast. I hope, or the live video. I hope that YouTube saves and it stays as just another video on the channel like it does on my PC. You used to have to only be able to do this at 10,000 subscribers, but now you can just do it. So it's awesome. Anyway, I'm Dan the Mexican. This has been The Rundown. You can get me anywhere at Dan the Mexican on Twitter, on Instagram. I'm Aztec Emerald if you want to find the company on Facebook. Still working on that site. Keep getting sick, but it's coming. Don't you worry. Other than that, yeah, if you need graphic designs or anything like that done, hit me up. Post a comment on Instagram. Post a comment on the YouTube thing here. Post a comment on Twitter. Hit me up. If you have anything to say, any questions, want me to talk about anything, whatever. Please like, please subscribe, share, tell your friends, and everything all sorts. Take it easy, folks. Peace. Now, how the fuck do I turn this off? 1 second. See what I'm doing. But I can't. Okay. I'm gonna have to go inside the house because I can't see a thing. I guess we're still recording behind the scenes because I don't know how to use the fucking app properly because it's way too dark and I can't see anything. And now I'm wearing glasses inside, which means I double can't see anything. Okay. Nah. Wait. Aha. All right. Peace out, folks.